Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Giving God all the glory. Welcome to the 5-Minute Facebook Ministry. My name is Anthony Daniels. Today we're coming at you from the book of Mark, the 7th chapter, 19th verse. Mark 7 and 19. And it reads, because it entereth not into his heart, but into the belly, and goeth out into the draught, purging all meats. Again, because it entereth not into his heart, but into the belly, and goeth out into the draught, purging all meats. Now, these are the words of Jesus, and this is still in his cover. He's talking to his disciples, and they've asked him to clarify something for them, and he's basically saying that when you eat things, it doesn't defile you. That whatever you eateth, that you put into your body, it cannot defile you. He says it because it doesn't enter your heart. So things that you take in, and people, there's always an argument of, did God make the unclean foods clean, or the unclean foods still unclean? Oh, excuse me. Well, it doesn't matter whether they're clean or unclean, because they don't defile you. They don't cause you to sin. He says they don't cause you to sin. Eating meat of any kind, whether it's listed as a clean or unclean meat in the Old Testament, no longer matters. It's not a sin, and you can eat whatever you want to because you're not taking it into your heart. Okay, and he says, and Jesus goes on to say, but it goes into your belly, and going out into the draught, it comes out, purging you of that meat. It comes out of you. It doesn't stay in you. So when some people are so worried about what they can and cannot eat, but when you read this chapter, it says because it entered not into his heart. So because it doesn't enter into your heart, it can't cause you to sin. It goes in, it comes back out, and it says it cannot defile in chapter 18, because I mentioned that earlier. But we need to be concerned about those things that can defile us, those things that can enter into our hearts. And what can we take in from outside that can enter into our heart? Okay, those things that we see, things that we hear, okay, and things that we lust for, regardless of what it is, a person, a thing, a place, they can defile our heart, causes us to sin. Also, things that we take into our bodies, like, for example, I'm going to use drinking alcohol. Now, I would argue that drinking alcohol is not a sin. That if you drink alcohol, you are not sinning. But what you have to realize is that when you drink alcohol, okay, and you start to get a little tipsy, or you start to get a little drunk, it can cause you to sin. Okay, it can loosen who you are, your moral fortitude, and cause you to do things you wouldn't normally do. So you need to be careful about what you take in. If you watch certain movies, then that as you watch that and you take it in, you can start to desire to do things that you see in the movies. Okay, and then you can go out and try to do those things. So as a Christian, you've got to realize that some things you don't need to take in. Okay, not that it's a sin, but because they can cause sin to enter into your heart. They open a door for sin to enter your heart. That's what those things do. They open a door for sin to enter your heart. So I'm not going to tell you don't go to movies. I go to the movies. I watch R-rated movies. I watch horror movies. I watch vampire movies. I went to see World War Z, and I enjoyed those movies. And I don't believe that those movies, me watching those movies, are sin. Someone told me you shouldn't watch movies because you'll never know what you're going to see. Well, I pretty much know what I'm going to see, but you have to realize where you are as a Christian and know that that God is with you. Now, there is a limit to what you should be watching, but the thing is that you don't have to just shelter yourself or your children from certain things to make sure that they're going to be God-loving Christians. Okay, God, we're in this world, especially as you. It's some parental advice. I've got some great kids, and I don't take no. I was blessed. I don't take no credit. I was blessed. God blessed me with great kids, but you know, you shouldn't keep your kids unexposed to things of the world, because they are going to be exposed at some point in time. And my thing was, I would always want to be the one to explain things to my kids that they were seeing for the first time, then have their friends explain it to them. Daddy, why are they doing that? Versus, hey Billy, did you see this movie? What was they doing? Because I think Billy's interpretation probably won't be as good as mine. So, when you watch certain movies with your kids and you do things with your kids, you can explain things to them that they're going to be exposed to. And, you need to watch what age they're at when you expose them to certain things. But, you need to expose them to things in this world, because they're going to run it. They're going to see sin. They're going to see things going on. You can't just shelter them their whole lives. And when they get out on their own, they've been exposed to those things. You've explained where that situation or that thing lies in God's plan for their lives. Okay? No, so when people do that, it's not really a good thing. God doesn't like that. But this is why people do it. And when you see that, you just need to walk away from it. And you plant that in them, and when they grow up, that'll be inside of them. It'll be inside of them. And they may choose not to follow it, but you've already planted that seed. You just need to keep watering. Ooh, that's all the time that I have. Hey, God bless you. God loves you. I love you too. Remember, eat whatever you want, and you'll be good to go. Just thank God for it. Have a great day.